Hey y'all, it's your girl Kayla and we are here with another nail video. So this is not a tutorial really. I'm just going to be time-lapsing me doing this aura set. But what I will be doing is giving y'all the tea and the story time on how I started doing nails, how I even got here, who the hell I am, because I don't feel like y'all really know me or like know, you know what I mean, where I came from. I feel like I just popped up one day on your timeline and y'all was like, who is this bitch? She's kind of interesting. Let's see what's going on with her. So the way I started doing nails, it was kind of chaotic. Like, it was a hot mess. It was a lot of stuff going on that led up to me doing nails. So let's just get into that first. So November 2019, it was my birthday weekend. I was, you know, when it's your birthday coming up, you gotta get all your stuff done. You gotta get your hair, your fit, your nails, all of that stuff. So I was just in the process of doing all of that. But in the midst of that, I was like, I want to do something different with my nails. I've always been a nail girl. Like, I've always got my nails done. I've always got my nails real long, but I always did really, really basic nails. And the shop that I went to, like on the regular, they really only did basic nails. They did a decent job, but they just only did basic nails. And I wanted to have a little razzle dazzle this year for my birthday. I was like, I don't know, I just don't want to do nothing basic. And when I say razzle dazzle, at this point I wasn't seeing all of the Instagram nails and stuff. I was completely oblivious to like what real, you know, what they say that Instagram nails look like. I had no clue about that. So when I'm saying razzle dazzle, I just mean really maybe a Louis Vuitton sticker or like some diamond, like a diamond nail. Like, I'm not thinking nothing too crazy, right? Maybe a swirl or two. I'm not thinking nothing too crazy. So I get on the internet, I get on Google, I'm looking up different places. I see this one nail shop. It's fairly new. I never seen it before. And in their pictures, they had like pictures on their Google with girls that had like, you know, the little Louis Vuitton stickers, the little, you know, different little stickers and decals. And I was like, okay, and they look decent. This might be the place. So I get them a call. I set my appointment. We good. So I go there. It was kind of late. I remember I went after work. I go, you know, the atmosphere is regular for, to me, a nail shop, because my experience in most nail shops, they not super overly friendly. It's like, sit down, bitch, get your nails done. Like, that's really all it is. So, you know, I get there, they sit me down, and the guy starts on my nails. So I had showed him like my inspo and kind of like what I wanted or whatever, and he seemed to understand what I was, you know, what I was trying to explain to him. So I'm telling him what I want and whatnot. He's like, okay, that's fine. So he gets started. Y'all, I really wish I had pictures of this. I was so humiliated by these nails, I didn't even take pictures. Like, that's how bad it was. But y'all, when I say the nails were so fat, they were so lumpy, my cuticles were flooded. He had put a sticker on there that was like halfway covered in top coat. The other half was still sticking out. Like, the nails were so bad. They were the worst nails I have ever had in my entire life. They were extremely curly. Like, they were curved, but like curly. Like, it was absolutely disgusting, okay? So note that. Now, usually I'm super duper passive about stuff. Like, I let stuff go. Like, I cry in the car later. It's not that big of a deal. Like, it is a big deal, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not a big confrontational person. Like, I do not like confrontation. So, you know, I wasn't going to say anything until he gave me the price of what it cost. Y'all, he tried to charge me. Keep in mind, I did not get a pedicure here. I had already just recently got a pedicure at my place. So I did not get a pedicure, nothing. This man said $110. $110 for them curly ass, lumpy ass, like, y'all, $110. I looked at that man like he was stone crazy. So he could obviously tell that there was something wrong by the look on my face. So I just looked at him for a minute. And so he said something to one of the ladies in the shop in their language or whatever. And she comes over and she repeats to me the price as if I didn't hear him the first time. Baby, I'm not confused about what you said. I heard what you said. I'm just trying to figure out what was $110 about it. So, baby, I reached deep inside myself to find the words, y'all. It took me quite a fucking second because I had to find the words. Cause I'm like, there's no way. $110 is crazy. So I told him, I was like, I don't really like the way the nails came out. They're very lumpy. They don't look right. I don't feel comfortable paying $110. And they acted like they could not understand what I was saying. So I repeated that about 3 or 4 times. And the lady like starts walking towards the door, like she's standing by the door, like I'm about to like sprint out the door or something, like I'm finna run off on them, which was never the case. Like the type of person I am, I understand that you did take your time and you did labor and you did work, but it's not your best work. It's horrible work. So I'm not just going to not pay you at all, but $110 for something like that, I really wish y'all could see it. It's crazy. We not doing that, baby. You're not finna scam me. So eventually he's like, can you do $75? I'm like, $75. Now, in my opinion, for what the nails look like, that was still really steep. But I'm like, I'm not finna go back and forth with y'all all night because they had already closed. Mind y'all, like I said, I went kind of late, so they had already closed. So I'm like, I'm not finna stand in here and go back and forth with you. So boom, I paid him the $75. I cry in the car, whatever, right? My birthday passed, didn't take no pictures of nails, hated them, ugliest nails in the world. So I started doing my research. By the grace of God, some lady came across now in my mind, this is by the grace of God at that point. This lady came across my Facebook page, and she was a nail tech, and she was a black nail tech, and she was actually in my area. She was in St. Louis. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know any black nail techs at this point, y'all. So I'm geeked. I'm excited because her work looks good. Like the work looks flawless. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm finna book with this lady. So I hop in her inbox. You know, we work some stuff out. I book with her. Great, right? I'm set. Y'all, the day that it's time for me to go to my appointment with her, because this was going to be I was like, okay, if I can pay a black girl to do my nails and she's bomb and she's fine, that's just what I'm going to do. That was my solution at the time. So the day that it's time for me to go to my appointment, I locked my keys in my car at the gas station. Luckily, the gas station was right down the street from my apartment. Anyway, it was just a whole, y'all, it was a whole hot mess. I had a spare key in my apartment. I had to go to the apartment office and like request a spare key from them to unlock it was a mess, y'all. So I was almost late to the appointment, but I ended up getting there in the nick of time. So I get there, y'all. When I say that girl was so rude to me, she opened the door with a stank look on her face. Like she was just annoyed that I was even there. I thought I had the wrong apartment because I'm like, there's no way this is the right lady. She just looked at me like she doesn't understand why I'm here. And so I'm just like, oh, my name is Kayla. You know, I'm here for your whatever time appointment. And she's like, oh, okay, you can sit down. And she just like points to the little desk in the corner. I was like, oh, okay. So me, I'm a very social person. I love to talk to people. I love to meet new people. And especially like when you're doing something that piques my interest, because I'm genuinely interested, because I'm like, I've never known anybody to do nails, like any black women to do nails, especially from their house. Like this is all totally new to me. And so, you know, her energy was just so off. Like when I say every time I would try to talk to her, she would just give me super short replies. Like every now and again I caught her like looking at me crazy. It was just, y'all, when I say not a good experience, she made me feel so uncomfortable. She made me feel so unwanted. Like the nails ended up decent, they were fine, but y'all, I mean, it was just not a good experience at all. So I was really disappointed because I'm the type of person, baby, you ain't got but one time to be rude to me. I'm not coming back to you. I'm not patronizing nobody that's rude. Like, I don't care, because customer service should be number one. That's just how I feel. So I said, baby, you ain't gotta worry about me no more. Beep, like, click, next caller. I'm finna figure out something else to do. So all my life I've always done everything myself. I have not been to a hairstylist since I was probably like a sophomore in high school. I've always did my own hair. I've always did my own makeup, my own eyebrows, my own eyelashes. Like, I am just really a DIY type of girl. Like, that's just always been the type of girl I am. And so my boyfriend was like, you know, I just was going through it because, like I said, I'm a nail girl. I always get my nails done. So I was going through it. So my boyfriend was just like, why don't you do your own nails? Like, why don't you try to do them yourself? And for some reason, that had never occurred to me, y'all. It had never occurred to me to do my own nails. Not even once, right? So I'm like, maybe I could try this. Like, maybe I'm gonna give it a go or whatever. And I started like doing my research on just nail stuff and just watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out like, you know, what's really to it. So basically all of December 2019, I was just learning. I was just on YouTube looking up products and like adding products to my cart on Amazon and on my cart elsewhere. Like I was just kind of like, you know, soaking up the game, trying to figure out what's what. And after a while, I realized it was probably going to be, I started getting discouraged about doing my own nails for some reason. I just felt like it was probably going to be really hard or whatever. And like something in me was just like, but I feel like I can do this. I feel like I can really do this as a business. Like, I feel like I can start doing nails because if this girl, like, I've been getting my nails done for this long. I watch what they do. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not a dummy. I feel like I can do this. Like, this is something I feel like I can really do. So that's when I decided I was going to make a business of it. I was going to be a nail tech. Mind you, at this time, I was still working my job at Beauty Brands, and I was an assistant manager there, and that took up most of my time. Like, that was a full-time job, so that took up most of my time. So, you know, even though I ordered all my stuff in January of 2020, you know, just trying to get my stuff together, I started practicing in January 2020. I wasn't really able to like hone in on my craft because so much time was taken from work and whatnot. But baby, then March came, and we all know what happened in March of 2020. That pandemic hit. And when I say my job, because we so close contact with people, it was a salon, so we had to shut down because we're non-essential. So when we shut down, I was like, this is my perfect opportunity to start nails. But I did have a pretty tough decision to make, because it's like, if I start doing nails full-time or I start trying to take clients full-time, I'm doing nails out of my house. We don't know nothing about COVID at this point. We don't know, you know what I mean? Like, all we know is people is dying. And so that was like a really hard decision to make. Like, do I let people into my home and X, Y, and Z right now? But this is the only opportunity that I really have to take this craft and run with it. Ultimately, though, I did end up deciding to just go for it. I'm like, I'm just going to take, you know, what I feel like the proper safety measures are, taking people's temperature, making sure everything is super sanitized, making sure everybody wears a mask, making sure people take their shoes off, all of that good stuff. I was trying to make sure that I, you know, cover all those bases when I started. And I was just, you know, at first I had already been doing like my coworkers' nails and my cousins and stuff. And so eventually word got out that I was doing nails. But y'all know what else happened in 2020 when the pandemic hit. Not only did my job close, but all the nail shops closed. So people were looking for somebody to go to. Obviously, they're like, you know, we can't go to the nail shop. We need the next best thing. And even though I had just started and I wasn't all that good, people were so desperate to get their nails done. And I hate to say it like that, but that was really, it was giving desperate. Like, people were so desperate to get their nails done. Like, they didn't care that I was a beginner. They didn't care that I didn't know what I was doing for real. They was just like, we need some nails. The nail shop's closed. Like, baby, this is where we finna go. Y'all, when I say I was so booked my first few months, and I didn't really understand like how to operate my booking, so my books was open for like, you know, 3 months at a time. And when I say I was booked up for that time, like, I was so freaking booked. I had so many clients, I had so many people, like, it was insane. Like, to this day, I just appreciate everybody that decided to, like, give me a try and give me a shot, even though I was a beginner. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't have all the bells and whistles that the nail shop might have, but people were still willing to give me a try. And I know, like, they really didn't have nowhere else to go, but baby, you could have been naked by the nails before you came to me, and you decided to still patronize me, and I just appreciate it. But y'all, when I say I was so booked, I had so many clients, and having so many clients, it kind of forces you to get better, like, because you're doing this repetitively all day. So I was getting faster, I was getting better, and my name was like getting out there, and I was popping. I'm not gonna lie, like, for my area, there weren't a lot of private nail techs as is. So I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely popping. And people liked me so much to the point where when the nail shops did open back up, my clients didn't want to go back to the nail shop. They like, baby, you done introduced us to a whole new vibe, and this is what we trying to do, because like the setting is totally different. You have to understand, at the nail shop, it's a chaotic setting. When you come to my house to get your nails done, we listening to music, we vibing, we having conversations, like we getting deep, we're getting close. Me and all my clients are pretty close in my opinion. So it's like, it's a whole different vibe that you don't really get at a traditional nail shop, and people just loved it to the point where they didn't want to go nowhere. So, of course, with that being the case, having so many clients gets overwhelming. Like, I have story times about having people in my house. Like, having people in your house is never, don't get me wrong, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but to me, it's not the ultimate, like, that's not the end all be all personally, because home is your space. That's your space. It's supposed to be sacred to you. When you invite that many different energies and just that many different people in your house, it throws things off. So I had to make the decision to get online and start looking at office spaces and whatnot. And I actually found one on Facebook Marketplace, and it was just it was not perfect. I'm not going to say that, because ideally I was looking for just like an open space where I could just do nails. And it was like a three-room office setup, and it was kind of big for what I was looking for, but I seen the vision, so I was like, I'm finna go for this is what I'm finna do. I'm going to get the space. I done saved up so much money because, baby, at the same time I was collecting unemployment. Child, it was such a sweet time, baby. Please take me back to 2020. I'm telling you, 2020 was so sweet. I was making so much money for my business, and it was my first time ever doing something like that and making money that fast. And then I was also on unemployment. They was giving me like $600 a week for unemployment. Y'all, I was living my big one. I'm telling you, babe, I was living my big one. So at this point, I had saved up enough to get into a space, and I was just very proud of myself. Obviously, I still didn't have all the money to design the space, like all fancy and whatnot. Like, I had enough to get myself in there and just start it up and just start trapping out of there. And after I got the space, that's when I kind of realized, okay, you need to be taking this a little bit more serious. Like, you can see yourself actually doing this. You need to take yourself more serious, and you need to go to school. So I ended up signing up for school in like October of 2020. And I ended up going to school, graduating in December, and then going to take my state board test shortly after in January. Passed it with flying colors, y'all. And yes, I've just been doing nails full time since. I've been booked and busy ever since. It's been the best 3 years of my life. I would not trade it for the world. Like, I love what I do. I genuinely love what I do. And so I've been posting content, basically since the beginning of my journey. I've been posting content since 2020, but my content didn't really start like blowing up or really getting noticed until 2022, like the end of 2022, like around November, around my birthday, around my, like the anniversary of me coming to this conclusion that I'm not going to the nail shop anymore. And so that was just kind of like a full circle moment. Like, around this time you made the decision to stop going to the nail shop. So, everything happens for a reason, and things have just been paying off ever since. And I just appreciate all the support I have. So I hope this video helped y'all kind of get into who I am as a person, like, who I am and how my journey began, if that makes sense. Y'all, I know I kind of talk a lot, but I hope that this helped everyone out. But baby, get into this set. I struggled a little bit. I know y'all noticed. I was struggling with this pointer finger right here, but baby, we got her together. But for further details, I did get the airbrush machine and this top coat that I'm using from Amazon. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, share, comment, and please subscribe. And I'll have more videos like this soon.